Hi, everybody. This is Tisch Aitken. Happy pre-New Year. And we are in very historical times. We're beginning a decade. We are dealing with a huge Capricorn story, which is historical and we will never forget. And I think that it is a good idea to give a brief breakdown on how this impacts each of the signs. I'm going to do it by part one and part two because I've done about 5 takes on this. And I usually like to just wing it and do one take if I can. So I'm going to do the first 6 signs if I can get through that, because I think I've done about 4 so far. And then I will do part 2 on the remaining 6 signs. So we have several planets in Capricorn. Mercury, which is the planet of communication, just entered Capricorn yesterday. We have 3 of the outer planets. Jupiter is how we expand, how we magnify things and magnetize things in our lives. Saturn is how we structure our goals. It's our karma. It's our responsibility. And Pluto is how we transcend situations. It's death and rebirth, and it's what we need to purge. And I also will discuss where Uranus is transiting in your houses. And Uranus is about ingenuity. It's about awakening, but it's also about chaos and impulsive and quick, rapid change. So let's see how I do. Okay, so for the sign of Aries, the Capricorn tail is going to occur in your house of career. Saturn and Pluto are meeting up on January 12th, and that's a new marriage in the sky. They haven't met up in over 500 years, and so it's a big deal. And they haven't met in Capricorn, and they haven't met up in the sky since the 82 and summer of 83. So that is where you are restructuring. Career is a big focus for you in 2020. Saturn is the natural ruler of the 10th house of career. So if you're working hard, it's time of taking on more leadership. You can get a promotion, more achievement with this. And, you may end up leaving a job perhaps to begin something with even more promise. And Jupiter will be expanding your opportunities to do so. So career is a big emphasis for you in 2020. Uranus is transiting in your second house of value, income, and how you earn money. So you may find there are new ways for you to make money. And you may find that you're changing your value system, that maybe some things that used to have appeal to you no longer do, and you're switching that up. So now for the sign of Taurus, Saturn and Pluto are meeting up in your 9th house of belief systems. And Jupiter is also there. Jupiter is the natural ruler of the 9th house. So you may find the 9th house deals with travel. It deals with spirituality. It deals with promotion. You might be doing more travel. You might also decide to go back to further your education. You might be learning new things you're interested in. It's maybe you're studying a new type of religion. I don't know, a new type of spirituality in some level, but it's a time of really expanding your knowledge and restructuring in that area. And for you, Uranus is transiting in your first house of self. So that is a major change in your life because it's the first house deals with your identity. It's a house of new beginnings. It could deal with a physical appearance. Maybe you radically change your appearance. It deals with the body, but it definitely deals with a lot of change in your immediate environment. So I think it's going to be a very busy year for Taurus, for sure. Now, for the sign of Gemini, the Saturn-Pluto story is occurring in your 8th house, which deals with intimacy. It deals with debt, it deals with taxes, and it deals with joint resources. So as for all of us, if we are not taking accountability in an area of our lives where Saturn and Pluto are meeting up on January 12th, this could be a time where you really have to, really deal with the debt in your life and find ways to start to deal with that. You will not be able to avoid that. But if you've been working hard to and being responsible with your finances, it might be a time that you're focusing on committing to investments, and it's also dealing with intimacy. If you have intimacy issues in your life, or if a relationship has lost its intimacy, you might find that you're having to address that area of your life. And Uranus for you is transiting in the 12th house of spirituality, of compassion, of empathy, of creativity. So you might be getting more drawn to, I don't know, manifesting, also learning about spirituality, and getting involved more in self-healing techniques, self-help in some areas. I hate that term, but of ways of bettering yourself, but also of really self-care, and helping others for sure, because the 12th house is a very ascetic house, wants to help others. So for the sign of, okay, this is said Gemini, Cancer. You're dealing with this in the 7th house of relationships, the Capricorn tail. So if there are relationships that are no longer serving you, often people can get divorced with Saturn in the 7th house. If the relationship is suffering, it would be a buildup. It would be something that you're probably already conscious of. If there are friendships or other types of partnerships that you're dealing with that are no longer healthy, you'll be purging them, because Pluto is also very much about purging. And if you're single, Jupiter is also expanding your opportunities. It could be that you're meeting new people and expanding your social circle. Maybe you get into a new commitment with Saturn and Pluto there, because we are committing with Saturn and Pluto. So it's very much, the emphasis is around relationships for Cancer. And that's where the transiting North Node is as well. So that is an area that you're going to be very focused on, and building your clientele as well. And Uranus for you is transiting in the 11th house of friends and groups. So again, you're expanding your social circle, meeting new acquaintances, lots of networking. So a lot of dealing with other people. Cancer can sometimes be a bit of a sign that keeps to itself. So it might be that you're getting a lot more social this year. For the sign of Leo, this for you is the Capricorn tail is falling in the 6th house of work and daily routine and habits. So you may be committing to a new health regimen in 2020. You may definitely, because Jupiter is also there expanding, you're probably going to be extremely busy with everyday work. It's not that it won't pay off for you, but it might be because Capricorn, makes us wait for things. It doesn't give us immediate results. It's not like Jupiter, which is, while Jupiter's there, but it's in Capricorn. So it will be that it takes a while to get those fruits of your labor, but you're going to be very busy. But I also think that the emphasis on health and the habits you want to implement in your life, that's a big focus in 2020. And for you also, Uranus is transiting in your house of career and reputation. So you may be breaking out in a new way, to the public. You might be getting in a new direction with your life goals and with your career goals. But work and career are very much a focus for you. And with Uranus there, maybe you change careers, so that's going to be a big focus for you. For the sign of Virgo, the Saturn-Pluto conjunction is falling in your 5th house of romance and creativity and children. Perhaps you're dealing with children. Perhaps you get pregnant. Perhaps you are restructuring how you're creative in your life. It's also the house of fun and entertainment. Maybe you're committing to having more fun in your life and finding a more creative outlet for yourself. And Jupiter is expanding that house for you. So if you're single, it definitely can help your romantic life, but also it will, I think, bring in a lot of fun. And Uranus for you is transiting in your 9th house of travel and higher learning. So you might have some unexpected, because Uranus is the unexpected. You might have unexpected trips that come in, unexpected opportunities to learn, whether it's workshops or going back to school that you do on a whim. But I think there's a lot around exploration, whether it's even on your own, but doing new, learning about new things, expanding your higher learning. For the sign of Libra, the Saturn-Pluto conjunction is in the house of home and family and real estate. So you may be having some issues with real estate or home or family because Saturn in the fourth house is not the easiest placement. It is technically in its detriment there. Jupiter is exalted there. That's also expanding there. So at least it gives some protection. But you might be committing to buying a home. You might be dealing with home and family matters. You might be deciding to move somewhere altogether new. But that is the area that it's hitting for you. And Uranus for you, for Libra, is transiting in the 8th house of joint finances and investments and debt. So you may be finding new ways to invest your money. You might be having some disruption in your money a bit, because that is the lower form of Uranus, or the more challenging form, I should say. But a lot around money, and there could be endings because both the 4th house and the 8th house are endings. So I would say, well, for all of us, across the board, a lot of shifts and transitions, but that might be another theme for you. So I will go on to do part 2. Thank you very much.